Hello, my name is Frances Fox. I'm a trained remote viewer. I was placed at birth in a secret military program that started in Germany after the Second World War, but it was by the US military. I chose this before incarnating because that was where I was going to be able to get the training and expertise that I needed to be able to do what I'm doing today, which is delivering information from the other dimensions, but information that's very specific, very targeted, very efficient, and very important. There is so much information out there that we can drown in it. What we need is to have filters or people that filter that information for us so that we end up only having to shift through the most important things. And that is what I bring to the table with the horoscopes. I'm not a trained astrologer, the same way I'm not a trained doctor, and yet I do a lot of medical analysis in the sense of revealing root cause, which is what medicine needs to be doing, but is not doing at this point. I earn most of my income in the business world. And I've always enjoyed business. I had my first business card at age 14. So today we're going to do your horoscopes that will be valid between the 25th of November and the 1st of December, 2024. And my filter, what I want, my intention with these horoscopes for this week is to find out what you need to know that you have to address before the first of the year. What do you need to take care of, deal with, confront, accept, reject, so that 2025 can be a better year? And I think most of us are yearning for a better year because this has been very difficult. I don't joke when I say this has been one heck of an incarnation. I'm not sure I'm coming back to the zip code in the galaxy again. Too tough. The rules don't make any sense. But let's finish gracefully this incarnation. So we're going to start as usual with the first astrological sign, which is Aries. Aries is a male sign and it is a fire sign. The fact that it's male means that it has a filter of male energy through which they look at the world. And the fact that they're a fire sign means that they're in deep trouble if they don't understand how to balance the elements. Most fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, are burning up because of an excess of the fire element on a planet that has global warming. The fire element starts with frustration and anxiety and ends up with suicide. Before that, you go into the murder thing. You want to kill everybody. That's where Aries is at. But let's see what Aries needs to know this week from the 25th of November to the 1st of December, 2024. Aries, yeah, too much fire at the upper part of your solar plexus chakra energy center, which would be right beneath your breasts. The solar plexus is the part of you that channels your personal power and your personal power in the world, not just in your home or in your job. And you're burning up. So you're too frustrated. And whatever good you might be dealing with is getting burned up in the process. So I have to recommend that you use our mantra music. The one is Agni, which is cascading cold ice water. And you do the mantra, even though I'm frustrated and there's nothing I can do, I love and accept myself. That's the purification mantra. This particular excess of fire, which is excess of frustration, anger, hatred, etc., is interfering in your ability to choose what it is you need to do next. And next is right around the corner, the first of the year. We're finishing a cycle now, and we have to leave the stuff behind that's not good for us. But you're having a hard time understanding because of the fire. So I suggest you do what it is that I'm recommending, or whatever else you need to do, such as move into an igloo, which will reduce your fire. Spend all your time at the beach, but not in the sun, which will reduce your fire. Or watch all of our mantra music videos, which will reduce your fire, but do something. Okay? Next astrological sign is Taurus. Taurus is a female sign and an earth sign. Female means that Taurus has a filter and looks at the view and views the world through a filter of female energies. even if you're a male. And earth means Tauruses are very grounded, very landed. The earth element has a lot to do with stability, but it can be also getting stuck and not moving quickly enough, which can happen with Taurus. They can be very stubborn. We're going to stay here, even though this is not good for me. I'm staying here. I said I wanted to be here, and I'm staying here. Something that they will have to learn, which is why we choose the different signs before we incarnate, because there's specific things that we need to learn that then we turn around and we teach other people. So, Taurus, what do you need to know? You have some loose ends out there, which actually have to do with relationships, where perhaps you did not behave as well as you should have, and you know that, and it's killing you and keeping you awake at night, but you are not dealing with it. You're not doing anything about it. So I would suggest that you either go to the people that this has to do with, or do what they just recommend in therapy. You write a letter to that person and then you burn it. You don't actually give it to them, but you need to deal with this. You can't go into the new year dragging this because it's dragging you down. You can't enjoy anything because you've realized some things and you need to make amends one way or the other. You have to deal with it. So, Taurus, what would your mantra be? Even though I'm afraid to talk to them, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid to talk to them, I love and accept myself. It will help to reduce the fear, and I understand the fear, but then what you need to understand is that you're going to have a miserable 2025 if you don't do that. Okay? Let's continue on with the next sign, Gemini. And let me say that I am not a positive or negative psychic. I'm neutral, which many times means I deliver nonstop negative information. But that's because I'm delivering to you the information that you need to know. And it's not usually the good stuff that knocks us down. You can get that from someone else. You can get that from your mommy, or from a girlfriend, from a boyfriend, whatever. I'm delivering the information that can make a difference for you. So we're going to go now then to Gemini, which is a male sign and and an air sign, which means they can be very ungrounded, lots of ideas. And let's see what you need to know before the 25th. Why am I saying the 25th? What do you need to know before the new year, Gemini? I see a lot of congestion of yellow, which means emotions. So I see a lot of things. I see a lot of vectors coming out of you, which are intention units, which is how you vitalize the creation of things that you want. So you have a lot of stuff you're dealing with, Gemini, but there's a lot of emotion. And that emotion is kind of weakening your intentions. Nothing bad happening here. But I would suggest that between now and the beginning of the year that you do all your mantras having to do with reducing negative emotions such as depression and rage, and that you have a lot of contact with nature, particularly water and earth, not fire and not air. You don't need more of that. So your vacations, when you go to eat, try and eat outside so that you can be next to nature, not outside next to a busy street on Manhattan. Because I see good stuff. I see you have the ability to vitalize several things at a time, really important stuff. But your emotions weaken. Not the number of things you want to vitalize, your emotions on each one of those things that you want to create. And guess who's a Gemini? Our President Trump. And that makes sense. Makes total sense. And again, I'm not reading Trump. I'm reading Gemini. He's a Gemini. And if you apply it to him, it makes total sense. Geminis don't like to deal with emotions. They're too busy for that. But any Gemini needs to do it because it's weakening their creation, their ability to create via their intentions. Okay, let's go on to the next sign. And the next sign is Cancer, which is a female sign and a water sign. Water in the other dimensions is emotions. Cancer are the most emotional of all of the signs. Cancer, what do you need to know between now and the 25th? Why do I keep saying the 25th? It's the 1st. I'm going to leave it between now and the 25th of December because I said it twice. There's usually a reason, and I'll probably find out by the end of this reading. So, Cancer, what do you need to know between now and the 25th? What you need to know is people love you and like you a lot more than you think that they love and like you. There's been something of a plan to kind of take you down because you have some gifts that you're coming to deliver. And that plan has created a lot of negativity towards you, but that plan is no longer being vitalized. Whoever or whatever group or whatever peoples had that plan are no longer able or want to vitalize their intention to isolate you, to have people not like you so that your projects and your proposals aren't accepted, promoted, or paid for. And apparently they're not able to do that anymore. So you are hesitant about your human relations because you've been beaten up so badly. And yet what you need to do between now and the 25th is a mantra, which is this one. Even though I'm afraid people don't like and love me, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid people don't like and love me, I love and accept myself. So guess who's Cancer? Me. And what we've just found out is that there has been a sustained, several year-long program by a group of people to take me down and to isolate me and to have people think badly of me and create a bad reputation. And that is now dissipating. So that matches. And who else do we know that's a Cancer? Elon Musk. And with all the negativity that's thrown his way, I can imagine that because he's a Cancer, and that means he's very sensitive, I think many times he must feel that nobody really loves and likes him. Makes sense. So let's go on to the next astrological sign, which is Leo. Leo is a fire sign, and Leo is a male sign. And the fire signs have issues with too much frustration, rage. Leos are very elegant, so they don't really process enough, in my opinion. But let's see what the astrological information is. Just like Aries, fire emanating from the top of the second chakra. The second chakra is 2 inches below your belly button, and it's like 6 inches wide or deep. From the top of that, there's fire, but I see that Leo is not blaming other people. Leo feels frustrated, but is not blaming. And that's very good. That's where you get to mastery. When you look at things and you go, how did I do this? Why do I need this? What is it I didn't see? Rather than they did this, they did that, da, 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 da. So Leo, you're okay. What are you frustrated at? Things are moving too slowly. And of course, fire is quick, quick, quick. And that is an issue for fire signs. So your mantra, even though I'm worried it's not going to happen, I love and accept myself. So apparently you're waiting for something, Leo, and you're worried it's not going to happen. I suspect it will happen after the 7th of January. That's just information that floated in. So you're better, Leo, than what I have seen in the last several years. So why don't you go ahead and visualize yourself under a cascade of ice cold water that you will find in our Agni mantra music on Francis Fox in YouTube and Francis Fox Reveals. And visualize yourself inside an igloo. And particularly visualize a block of ice in your liver, which is underneath your right breast. And visualize a block of ice in your liver very close to the back of your liver. And you do have an implant like matrix implants from the back of your liver to Orion, which is not good. Orion is the planet or the whatever that took us down. It is in the process of trying to take Earth down. But it doesn't have a bad color, so I'm not sure what that's about. But That's your information, Leo. I'm not embarrassed when I'm not able to finish explaining to somebody something that I got, a piece of information. That's much better than me trying to make you think that I do have that information, or covering it up like they do in medicine today. The medical establishment will rarely admit that they don't know, they don't understand, which basically is everything having to do with our health, because they're not trained in the other dimensions, which is where we get sick. So it's good when somebody has problems, feels bad, and is not pointing fingers. Excellent, Leo. So continuing on, we're going to Virgo, which is earth sign, and it's female. So it would have a tendency to be very stable, not moving a lot, stubborn, and female, the female filter. I don't really know how that plays out with them. So Virgo, what do you need to know? You misstep. You did something that was a misstep, and it is huge, and it is affecting your future. And I don't know what the misstep is. It has to do with the handling of a business relationship where you thought you could pull the wool over someone's eyes because you weren't thinking. And it became very obvious, and now you don't know how to fix it. And that's where mantras are really good, because when you need a miracle, you have to just remember that your mind creates. So if you created something negative, you can recreate it. You can clean up your act, but you have to have focus, intention. You do have to do something. So your mantra should be, please God, help me with my intention to miraculously purify this relationship. I think that you should do it because this is really sitting heavy on you. This is sitting heavy on you. It has brought to the fore things that you haven't really ever looked at. There's not a fault issue. There's an awakening and a realization that you can take care of. You do need to dedicate some time. So do the mantra, which are always repeated in silence. Expel the breath through your mouth. Try to have both of your feet on the ground. So let's move into the next sign, which is Libra, which is an air sign, which means lots of thoughts. And it is a male sign. Libra, what do you need to know between now and the 25th? I see you saying, I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know how to get out of this. You're kind of scrambling a little bit. Something is going on that you feel you don't have control over. And I see something that generally means black magic. There's a lot more black magic going on in this country than I was aware of. A lot more. And they have full language for it, which I'm now learning, because most of what I know about that world from remote viewing my clients, particularly the wealthy ones, and discovering the black magic, there's more language in Spanish, but there is more language in English. It's just not part of the world that most people here are aware of. So Libra, I see you kind of like a puddle on the floor, and then there's like a wet blanket on top of you. I'm not sure if it's black magic or if wet is water, water's emotions. I'm not sure if just simply you have such an excess of depression that basically you're a puddle on the floor, or you're like a little mound on the floor. So I would do the mantra, which is the one that's for the Mantrista movement for 2024. Even though I hate, my heart is broken, and I want to die, I love and accept myself. Even though I hate, my heart is broken, and I want to die, I love and accept myself. That is a purification mantra. I strongly suggest that if you go, oh, I don't hate, I strongly suggest that you rethink that, because our spirit is in our astral emotional body, and it is emotionally 2 years old. Now, as we grow up, society beats up our spirit to where we polish it, we repress, we turn into pretzels so that we don't react emotionally, which is the opposite of what needs to happen, because the word emotion means to move out, emote. And psychologists don't know that, and our family doesn't know that, and society doesn't know that because they teach us the opposite. So just do it. And if you're so uncomfortable with the word hate, then go ahead and use the word frustration and take longer, because you don't want to deal with that rage you have inside of you, Libra. And perhaps you need to deal with it now, because after the 10th of January, there is a congestion, a coming together of all sorts of events that could completely take you down. At which time you're going to really feel that hatred that you have inside of you. In other words, you have a congestion of hatred inside of you, Libra. Law of attraction is the law of magnetic resonance. Here you are with all this hatred, which you deny because you're so diplomatic, and then you have all these events that are hateful. Law of attraction, true. Why don't you get rid of this hate? Just do the mantra. We're not asking you to tell the world. You don't need to, actually. It wouldn't be good for you or for the world. You just need to process it. Okay? We're going to continue on then with the next sign, which is Scorpio. Scorpio is always a fascinating sign. They are female and they are a water sign, emotions. Scorpios come in with a mission to help other people with their karma. So that when people are not paying enough attention, not purifying what they need to purify, not changing and recognizing patterns, and a Scorpio will come in and do something that is shocking. Oh my God, look what a Scorpio did to me. Oh my God, he's an animal. No, he's not an animal. You were not paying attention. And he had to be very ungraceful to do something to kind of wake you up. So, what do we need to know this week? What does Scorpio need to know this week having to do with themselves? Scorpio. I see a suitcase. I've been seeing a suitcase for 2 years. So, obviously, you want to travel and get the heck out of wherever you're at. And you're holding up this stick that the kids have that has this thing that twirls. And if you move it, it starts to twirl around. And you're holding this, which means you need to move to have it to start twirling around. And you're looking at it and you're going, but if I start to move, then I have to continue to move. I can't just make a move, a short hop and a jump, and then stop, because then the twirling will stop. So I need to get all my ducks lined up, and then I'll make the move. And that way, this little thingamajig will continue to twirl around. Interesting symbolism. I'm glad to see that, because Scorpio, I have seen, has been tied down due to other people's issues, requests, needs, and has been wanting movement in their life and needing it. And they have held back. Believe it or not, Scorpios are very, very, have sacrificed themselves for us. They look like they do hatchet jobs on us because of what they're trying to get us to see, but they really have sacrificed themselves. So this is really good, Scorpio. Line up those ducks. 7th of January, big day. I don't know. What day is the 7th of January? Is that when everybody kind of gets back to school? Let me check right now, because now I'm curious. Okay. The 7th, no. 7th of January is a Tuesday. So I don't know what there is about the 7th of January. But collect your thoughts, get those ducks in order. And I wish you luck, Scorpio. You deserve it. You really do. We all need to get kicked around and go into shock and wake up about something. It makes our process of evolution shorter. Okay, so we're going to go now with the next sign, which is Sagittarius, which is one of the fire signs. Those are the ones that need to deal with their fire, and they have been so beaten up in the last several years that it is concerning. So, Sagittarius, male sign, fire, what do you need to know between now and the 25th? I see you sliding off your chair, and I see people picking you up and putting you back and propping you back up in the chair, and you continue to slide off the chair. So then they prop you back up, and then they, like when they kidnap somebody, that they tie them to the chair. These people, which are your loved ones, tie you to the chair so that you can stay propped up and you can continue with life as if you weren't in a state of total collapse. This corresponds to the Sagittarius that I know in my life. Um, so this is not good news for Sagittarius. On the other hand, when we get sick or when we get to where Sagittarius, now that they can't even sit in a chair, they'll slide to the floor. It's kind of like a wake-up call, like, wait a second, what's going on here? And I would say that I don't think that the people around you are going to be very happy with whatever it is that you decide to do to take care of yourself. I think you have not been taking care of yourself. And I think that the people around you have not noticed or have not wanted to see it. So I think that you need to accept that regardless of how painful it is, and then figure out what you're going to do for yourself, because I think that you are headed towards a breakdown on your physical body, which is not good, because in the other dimensions, I can tell you 2 years before you have cancer, I can see and say, you're going to have cancer in 2 years. You go to your doctor, you don't have cancer. No, you don't. You don't have cancer in your physical body, but you do have it in your energy bodies. And you can take care of it so much easier there, which is why I tell people that. They don't appreciate it. It's like, why are you being so negative? Negative? This is a warning. Your system is cancerous. Your physical body doesn't have it, so let's get it taken care of. It's like nothing when it's in the other dimensions. We already know what they do to you in this country when you have cancer. I'm so glad that RFK is being made head of health here, and our health is going to make a lot more sense. Our health, what is done to address our health issues, is going to make a lot more sense. Continuing on. Now we have Capricorn. Capricorn, Jesus Christ was Capricorn. Capricorn is a female side, and it's earth. Jesus was born in a barn, in a manger. That would be great for Capricorn. I find it so funny when people go, "Oh my God, he was born in a barn. There wasn't a stable. There was no room for them at the inn." Do you know how lucky you would be if you were born in a stable? Totally healthy. Higgs field, totally correct. You go to a hospital, and above the pelvis of where the female is delivering, there are portals that are multidimensional. Portal is an opening. And there are no policemen that say, no, you can't come in through here. Portals are openings to the spirit world, and the only spirits that come in are the bad ones, right over the pelvic area. So when they say Jesus Christ was born in a stable, this is a really good thing. But of course, we don't recognize that. And that's going to be one of the other things that's going to happen now in this new world that we're entering. We're going to be able to understand more about the other dimensions and be more appreciative of things like him being born in a stable. Continuing, did I tell Capricorn anything? No, I went off on a tangent, which is really important. Capricorn, what do you need to know between now and the 26th, not the 25th of December? I don't know why it's different. Maybe you have an important event on the 25th? Capricorn, I see you sweating. You've got a list of people having to do with holidays, and I see you sweating, and I see you crossing people out, and then you're trying to add other people, but you don't really want to see them, so why are you adding them? So then you cross another person out, and then you go, well, but I'm not going to be able to see anybody. So let me add some people, and then you go, but I don't really want to see those people. And then you go, wow, this is really different. So I'm going to say, Capricorn, that you are assessing your relationships. You have a lot of people that you want, that you're going to cross out of your life. and that you'd really love to do that in January, not in December. Uh, but you're not pulling the wool over your own eyes. You're looking at the list and going, I can't continue a tradition that I know is not good for me and my family. So I see, Capricorn, that you're more clear about human relationships, and you're less thinking that it doesn't really matter who the person is. You'll stay in control, so it doesn't matter what their history is, what their reputation is, what they do. You kind of are going to be able to figure it out and stay out of harm's way with them. And I see you understanding that that is not necessarily the case. And that is actually totally accurate. Transference of energy is so huge. And I'm not going to say the story, but I had somebody who worked for me that was so downtrodden that the wall that she sat next to a plant, and basically it withered, and all the other plants pushed at the same time, but in different places in the office did not. The ceiling above her was the only place in the building that had a leak, and the wall next to her looked gray. Transference of energy. So Capricorn is recognizing this, even though he or she may not be aware. So this is what you need to know between now and the 26th. So if you wanted to do a mantra, then you might want to do the mantra of, even though I'm sad about my friends, I love and accept myself. Continuing on, Aquarius is a male sign, and it's an air sign. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. It's the most evolved of all of them. Aquarius. What do you need to know between now and the 27th of December? I see you angry and saying to somebody, but I told you I didn't want that. Okay? I told you I didn't want that. And the people on the other side of the table, or you're talking to, your family, I don't know, is like taken aback. Like, you're expressing yourself with such force. You're not asking, you're not whining, you're not complaining. You're saying, I told you I didn't want that. And I see you have like a chess game set up, but in the chess game, you have what's on the tape on the chess, whatever you call it. You have your bank accounts and money markets, and then you have properties, and then you're moving things around, and somebody is close by and saying, what are you doing? And you're going, I'm doing whatever the blankety blank I want to do. So you know what? Just move away. Okay. I asked you, da 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 da. You didn't, da 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 da. So I'm going to do it. And I don't need any opinions, nor do I need you having an opinion when I finish moving all these chess pieces. Get back into your corner where you said you were very happy. Aquarius doesn't usually do things like this. So Aquarius is like taking control of their own life and not like rising above it, which is Aquarius does. Like, they don't get involved in all these mundane things with human beings that human beings get dragged down by. Aquarius isn't in the mud and saying, I'm going to be in control. I already expressed, I asked, I whined, I cried, I wished, I fantasized, and it didn't happen. You know what? I can make it happen. Hey, this is good, Aquarius. This is really good, Aquarius. This is a planet of free will, but we're supposed to exercise it. We're not just supposed to have it and turn it over to other people. So, continuing on with the last sign, which is Pisces. Pisces is a female sign, and it's a water sign, water's emotions. Pisces, what do you need to know between now, 28th of December? I see you looking at people, I think it's family, and you're saying, I said no more lying. I just said no more lying. And then somebody says something and you go, Pisces goes, but that's not true. You know that. Yeah, but you know what? We've always done it like this. Yeah, but it's not true. You know that that's not true. And then everybody just kind of sits there because they're not used to this, because Pisces does hide everything. Pisces are very evolved. When they come into this incarnation, they are exhausted from all the incarnations where they witness so much tragedy, so much unfairness, so much injustice. They come into this lifetime exhausted. They wake up and we're here again. I don't want to do this. And so what they do is they shut down. According to astrologers, and I think that that's true, they kind of come in, they realize they're on planet Earth again. This doesn't work for me, and they put themselves in a box. They don't want to be able to feel, think, or know, or see anything having to do with life and processes and emotions and traumas. But then they block out all the information. And then they're ruled by a planet that has a lot to do with fantasy and other dimensions and floating and whatever. And so there can be a lot of fantasizing, a disconnect from reality. That's not happening with Pisces now. Pisces has made a turnaround, and Pisces is saying, no more lying. That's it. Yeah, but you said, and Pisces is saying, you know what? I'm saying different. This is the truth. This is what's going to happen now from here forward. Yeah, but we never did it like this before. Well, we're doing it like this now. And then afterwards, we'll review and see what we're going to do the next time. For now, we're going to do it this way. And then I see people calling Pisces. And, okay, and Pisces go, no. What do you mean, no? No. We're going to take a pass. And the people are saying, take a pass? But you're like part of this. And Pisces is saying, you know what? We've decided to do things different. So we're going to take a pass. And everybody is like in shock. So I think Pisces is making a major turnaround in the way they do life. And they're doing it with the reins of power in their hand, exercising their free will, awake and aware, and no more fantasizing, lying, skirting around the truth. Just simply, no. I see it, therefore, no. Good luck. Good luck, Pisces. This is a good thing. Pisces are very psychic, they're very intuitive, and they're very fair. And when they can get out of the personality that they chose in order to not see so much pain, when they get out of that and take the reins of power, they can be incredibly helpful and incredibly stabilizing. And it looks like that is what Pisces is going to do this December. So we did all of the astrological signs. Let me go back to Libra. Kamala Harris, who lost the bid for presidency, is a Libra. And Libra is not in a good place. And Libra is like a puddle on the floor with a wet blanket over them, which is either black magic or an excess of negative emotions. And that would correspond to what's going on. And I don't remember what Biden is. Biden is a Scorpio. Oh, how interesting. Scorpio, I read that they have had a suitcase ready for at least a couple years. And they've stayed around because of other people. That makes sense. And they've been very patient with other people and doing what other people wanted. And now they're getting ready to move, but they need to line their ducks up so that once they start to move, they don't stop. I have no idea what Biden's plans are after moving out of the presidency, but it kind of makes sense. And I'm going to say one more thing, because so much is said out there and people just don't know. Biden is a Scorpio. Scorpios are very sensuous. So I'm not saying, all I'm saying is that when a Scorpio goes like this to you, it's not necessarily sexual. When Scorpio is sniffing because there's a perfume or an odor that is appealing, it's not necessarily sexual. It doesn't mean that they're a sexual abusers. They could be, but those are perfect symptoms of being a Scorpio. So I'm just not defending anybody. I'm just giving information. And that's about it. So we have a podcast that I would love for you to listen to. It's called Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions. It's on Spotify and Apple. and we put out 2 or 3 podcasts a week. We also have it in our YouTube in video form. And I think you might enjoy it because this is the first time in my life that I've actually been able to speak freely. I have a lot to say, and I say it I say things that you should be able to integrate immediately into your life if you find the information interesting enough or applicable to your life. In my training in remote viewing, which started when I was a child, I worked with scientists and military. They did not allow me to bring them information that was useless. And every information that I brought them, if they asked me about a situation, if they didn't know what to do with it, they would say, "This is worthless. You just told us something and we don't know what to do with this that you told us to do. So go back and figure out and get us information to where we can feel there's something we can do." And that's exactly how I deliver my information. It has to be efficient and effective now. So you might find it interesting to listen to our podcasts. So it was good being with you, and I'm happy to be doing the horoscopes in English again. Thank you for joining me.